Good morning. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, honored guests. I would like to thank The Economist for giving me the opportunity to make this keynote address, a unique, prestigious event that takes place at a time that the Greek economy has been upgraded, constantly becomes stronger, and shows remarkable resilience. This is an achievement primarily due to the long-lasting sacrifices of the Greek society, combined with a prudent fiscal policy. Implemented over the last 6 years, the successful management of consecutive external crises, as well as the political stability. However, despite the positive outlook and the promising prospects of the Greek economy, we should remain cautious and proactive on our decisions, as the wider environment shows signs of instability and uncertainty. And before presenting the priorities of the Ministry of Infrastructure and Transports, I do want to paint the wider picture and underline the important steps forward that Greece has made in the last 6 years. A few years ago, the Greek 10-year bond was rated as garbage. Today, our bond yield is stable and lower than many European countries or even the USA. A few years ago, the growth rate in Greece was amongst the lowest in the European Union. For the last 6 years, Greece is constantly among the EU countries with the highest growth rates, and our projections for the following years are similar. A few years ago, the unemployment rate in Greece was by far the highest in the EU. In the last 6 years, Greece has a record-performing decrease in the unemployment rate, having created more than 500,000 jobs. A few years ago, the minimum wage in Greece was at 650 euros. Today, we are at 880 euros, ranking in the middle of 22 countries in the European Union that has a minimum wage. Records in investment, records in exports, record in reduction of the public debt, increase in deposits, increase in R&D expenditures, and so on. The message is crystal clear. Forget the Greece of the financial crisis. That belongs to the past. Greece is not only converging rapidly to Europe, but making important steps in modernizing and restructuring the public sector and the economy. In this context, the political leadership of the Ministry of Infrastructure and Transport has embarked on an effort enhancing connectivity in transport and resilience in infrastructure, aiming ultimately to contribute to levering Greece's regional, geopolitical, and economic role. Our strategy is based on priorities. First priority, implementing many large-scale projects throughout the country. Yesterday and the day before yesterday, we signed in total 8 contracts worth 1.35 billion euros for the reparation necessary in the rail and road networks in Thessaly and central Greece due to the floods we experienced with extreme weather conditions from Daniel and Elias. Within May, we will be signing the contract for the construction of the Cretan Northern Highway, and more specifically, the main sub-project Chania-Iraklion. Indeed, works have started in some parts, studies are carried out, expropriation procedures are progressing. The Patra-Pyrgos Highway will be completed also in 2025. The first 65 kilometers starting from Pyrgos and going up towards Patra until the end of June, while the rest part until the end of the year. The Central Greece Highway, E65, will have been fully completed this time next year, and more specifically the part linking Kalabaka to Egnatia Highway. Finally, the Thessaloniki Metro, the most emblematic urban project over the last decade, has been put into operation, and by February next year, 5 additional stations will be added to the underground network. Additionally, the construction of the Thessaloniki flyover, an innovative and pioneer project for Greek standards, is carried out at a rapid pace and is coming to solve the traffic jam problem of Thessaloniki. And of course, the new Kastelli airport in Crete is progressing with a completion rate being over 40%. Second priority, implementing major flood prevention and irrigation projects. Obviously, we place a lot of importance in the best usage of our water supplies, and therefore relative infrastructure is absolutely necessary in order to protect the environment, but also promote agriculture production, which is obviously a central government priority. Last week, we signed the recommencement of the dam in Asopos in Corinthia. Within May, we will be signing contracts for Bramianos in Crete, and are proceeding with further projects to be announced in the next couple of weeks and months. Indeed, in 2024, we signed contracts or we announced tenders for dams and flood prevention projects in Messinia, Etolakarnania, Lesvo, Rethymno, and Attica. Moreover, we signed contracts and we completed irrigation projects in Argolida, Imathia, Phthiotida, Chalkidiki, Seres, Kastoria, Larissa, Trikala, Magnesia, and Corinthia. Third priority, maintaining existing infrastructure projects. Recently, in Parliament, I announced our intention to put into practice immediately a registry for crucial infrastructure, a registry for bridges throughout the countries, dams, but also tunnels. In close cooperation with the Technical Chamber of Greece, the Smart Bridges project is implemented with the aim of upgrading road bridges in all regions, as well as 100 railway bridges with innovative methods and tools. Fourth priority, reforming the Greek railway. We are bringing in Parliament within May a new bill for the railway, which has long-lasting accumulated deficiencies and inconsistencies. To address them, systematic, persistent, and long-term effort is required. We are moving in the right direction with speed. An action plan on railway safety and interoperability has started being implemented. The organizational reform of the railway sector with a new single modern public entity fully assuming the role and obligations and responsibilities of the railway infrastructure manager has also been presented. Obviously, making good and extensive use of modern technology, applying private sector management practices, re-educating and reskilling employees, but also imposing punishments when that is necessary, is part of the modernization plan. Finally, we are launching Greece's participation in the new railway corridors, such as the 3 Seas, namely the Baltic Sea, Black Sea, and Aegean Sea, as well as the Western Balkans, Eastern Mediterranean. Towards that direction, we have absorbed, for the first time over the last decades, 1.5 billion euros for the restoration of the railway network of Central Greece, the upgrade of the railway line in Macedonia, the construction of a new single line connecting the port of Kavala with the railway network, and the upgrade of the suburban railway in Western Attica and Western Thessaloniki. Fifth priority, renewing the public bus fleet. Already hundreds of new vehicles, mainly electric buses, are circulating Athens and Thessaloniki, expecting a total number of 950 until the end of the year. Additionally, a new tender for the supply of more anti-pollution technology buses has been launched. Sixth priority, promoting electromobility. 4 relevant, more flexible over the last year programs are in progress with significant subsidies for individuals and companies. Already, the total subsidy for the purchase of 19,000 vehicles over the last 2 years amounts to 52 million euros. At the same time, the publicly available charging points from 73 in 2019 are now rising. There are more than 6,700 at the moment. Moreover, the ministry places particular emphasis on the sustainable planning of transportation systems by introducing, among others, sustainable urban mobility plans as the main planning tool for municipalities and regional authorities. Seventh priority, enhancing the road safety nationwide. Among other initiatives, we are modernizing the sanctions framework of the Road Traffic Code. This will be brought to Parliament within the next couple of months. We established the National Road Safety Observatory, and we are launching digital recording of violations and the effective collection of fines. We have successfully applied road safety initiatives with amazing results. In the Patra Pyrgos section, this is actually acting as a pilot for projects in the future, among others. We are planning to apply similar initiatives in Voak in Crete as well. Eighth priority, allocating funds for the implementation of all the above projects. So in close coordination with the Ministry of Finance and National Economy, relevant initiatives are underway to identify and secure funding sources and financial instruments. This involves leveraging national and European funds with the involvement and contribution of the private sector through concessions and public-private partnerships. These are funds coming from both national and co-financed leg of the new programming period, the Recovery and Resilience Fund through the existing allocation of funds and the redistribution of available sources, the EU Solidarity Fund for the restoration of damages in the affected from natural disasters areas, the Connecting Europe facility, specifically for the restructuring and modernization of the railway network, lending from the European Investment Bank and the Council of Europe Development Bank, funding from a much healthier and more stable over the last 6 years banking sector, both on the asset and liability side of the balance sheet. And of course, leveraging our fiscal space steadily created over the last 6 years in the state budget. So I shared with you some of the priorities and policies of the Ministry of Infrastructure and Transport. These provide the impetus to form a more resilient economic landscape, to achieve high and sustainable growth, to create more new jobs, and to enhance social cohesion. Indeed, what is our vision on transport infrastructure? Our vision is clear: a seamless network of roads, railways, ports, and airports that connect every corner of our continent and our country, offering greener, faster, safer, and more efficient transport for passengers and goods. Thank you very much.